Welcome along to Match Day Live this Sunday afternoon as the Foxes travel to Old Trafford and Manchester to face Manchester United in another huge Premier League game involving Brendan Rodgers and his side. With all of today's team news, here's our commentator, James Fielden.
Yeah, hi Dan, hi everyone. Everyone taking their seats here at Old Trafford. Serge Pizzorno just alongside us here in the director's box, taking some pictures as well. Plenty of Leicester City interest here, as always. And in terms of the team that Brendan Rodgers is playing today, it's exactly the same as Tottenham last week. Unchanged. Back on the bench, Buba Soumare's missed the last 7. Yuri Tielemans as well, who missed out last week. They're in reserve. But in terms of those who start from the off today, Ward in goal, Castagna, Suter, Fass and Christensen across the back. Mendy and Dewsbury Hall in the middle. Maddison just ahead of them wearing the captain's armband. Tete off the right. Barnes off the left. Iheanacho starting through the middle. Manchester United in European action on Thursday in the Camp Nou. But in terms of their last league game, they played against Leeds United last weekend. They've made just the 3 changes. Lisandro Martinez, Victor Lindelof and Alejandro Garnacho come in. Harry Maguire not playing today. He's not in the squad either. He misses out altogether. Tyrell Malacia and Jadon Sancho drop out. So Manchester United line up with De Gea in goal, Dalot, Lindelof, Martinez and Shaw across the back in a 4. Fred and Sabitzer in midfield. Bruno Fernandes, their captain, just ahead of them. Garnacho off the right. Rashford in fantastic form, isn't he, playing off the left. And Wout Weghorst, the big striker, on loan from Burnley, starting through the middle. The headline team news, though, for Leicester City, they're unchanged.
Line team news there, Leicester City unchanged, of course, from those fantastic victories in the last couple of games. Matt Elliott is here with us on Matchday Live, as is Ewan Roberts, joining us via Zoom for the first game you've done with us, Ewan, for a while, isn't it? Firstly, good afternoon, because most of the games are Saturdays when you're too busy gallivanting up and down the country.
Gallivanting up and down the country, my word, Dan. I think the last game I did would it have been Newcastle away, I think, or maybe Liverpool at Anfield, where the lads were really unlucky not to get anything from that game. So yeah, it's good to be back, Dan. It's good to be back, especially on a Sunday afternoon.
Yes, fantastic to have you on, Ewan. It's a Sunday afternoon, Matt. You're with us, of course, here in the studio. Good afternoon to you. Have you had a good weekend so far?
Not too bad. Steady. Been looking forward to the game as much as anything, really. Had a mixed last couple of days. I won't go into details. I won't bore you, Batesy, but hopefully the game won't bore me either, because it's set up for a really intriguing fixture, isn't it? You know, Leicester, turn of fortune going well. Man United been going strong for a while, but Leicester City fans, you wouldn't have said it long ago, looking forward to the occasion, aren't they? And hopefully the players are as well.
Absolutely. We've got plenty to get through here on Matchday Live as we build up to kick-off, which is, of course, at 2 o'clock, just under an hour away, of course. We've spoken about those brilliant wins in the last couple of games, including that cracker from Mendy and that victory over Spurs. We'll take a look back at that game. We'll look at some classic goals against Manchester United. Still don't think there are any Matt Elliott strikes in there.
There's an assist.
There's an assist.
Check.
And we'll take a close look, of course, at Manchester United, in particular Marcus Rashford, who's in fine form at the moment. Yeah, Ewan, really, that Manchester United, this is sandwiched between some massive games for them against Barcelona, of course, in the Europa League. They've got the cup final next weekend against Newcastle. So this is maybe a good time to play Manchester United, despite the fact that they are in obviously really good form.
Yeah, and they've made a few changes, as was pointed out at the start of the programme. I think Casemiro being suspended is a massive plus and a massive bonus for Leicester. I think he's been superb. The experience that he brings into that midfield, the know-how, not so much creativity, but the hard work, the dogged work, if you like, in midfield. Had a tough game in Spain on Thursday night. That will have taken quite a bit out of them. And as you say, it's a really important week for the football club. I still don't think they're completely out of the Premier League title race. It would have been a blow for them seeing Arsenal come back the way they did at Villa Park yesterday. They'd have had that bonus of Man City drawing just up the road against Nottingham Forest, but they're not a million miles away. Out of the 3, I think they've got the easier run in, so I wouldn't count them out of the title race of yet. But when you think that the last silverware that this massive football club won was in the League Cup back in 2017, not won the Premier League since 2013, I think it was. This is a club that is used to winning trophies, and I think you're spot on in what you're saying. Next Sunday, a week today, they go to Wembley, they play Newcastle. It's a great chance for them and Ten Hag to win his first bit of silverware as the manager in his first season at the football club. It's a big week which starts today for them, which I think it's going to be a very, very tough game for Manchester United.
Yeah, tough game for Manchester United, as Ewan's been saying there today, against Leicester, and sandwiched in between those two games. Are you then not surprised that they've made a couple of changes, that the team is slightly different to what we've been maybe used to?
Yeah, but listen, Man United have got a strong enough squad to be able to sort of. They'd like it to be deeper, of course, and they're intending to achieve that. But I think even at the moment, the younger players on the fringes that are capable of. He's already said it, Ten Hag, isn't he, about likes of Garnacho and one or two others that can come in and play at that very top level, certainly for short periods of time. So he's got enough variety within the squad. But you look at that today, I mean, cup final coming up, etc., and second legs of Europa's, whatever, it's just Man United, isn't it? They're playing at that high level, and that's what they've been striving to achieve. Get back to something like the old days, etc., and they're up there. They just have to churn performances out. That's part and parcel of being a Man United player. And I think he's not a million miles off with this squad. He can pick a lot of varieties of team, can't he? But having said that, there's still sort of like the hardcore, isn't there? The main protagonists, if you like. And unfortunately, from Leicester's point of view, most of them are out there today, other than Casemiro, of course. Yeah,
as we know, he's suspended. We're here, though, to concentrate, of course, on the Foxes, on Leicester. They've two brilliant Premier League wins in a row last weekend here at King Power Stadium. It was maybe the performance of the season against Spurs.
Another corner, dangerous. It's come off Christensen. Oh, it's gone in. It's an own goal, maybe. Is there a final touch that's touching over the line? Benton Kerr has led the Spurs celebrations. Well, from one moment, Christensen denying Spurs an almost certain goal, and then from the corner he couldn't react quick enough. Maddison is over the corner, Tete was with him, but he sent it in low. A flick on at the near post from Castagna, it's almost off the line from Bentancur, and then a shot comes in from Mendy, who produces his first ever Leicester City goal, and my word, that was worth waiting for. Right footed, corner of the penalty area, he's caught it as sweet as you like, and it's just between the hand of Forster and the bar, and there was a collective ooh from the crowd, and now Iheanacho, Leicester may be in, Maddison, it's in, and Leicester have got a second. This time the man who can't stop scoring, James Maddison, 7 in his last 11 Premier League games. Iheanacho, the architect, as it came through the middle, and you can't leave Maddison unmarked. Iheanacho chasing, again he's one-on-one with Dyer, edge of the box, right side, Maddison to his left, Tete to his right, onto his left foot, it's in! It's Iheanacho! 5 starts this season, he's scored in all 5 of them. This one into the penalty area, onto his left foot, toying with Eric Dyer, and then finding the bottom left corner. Then on to Maddison, Leicester quickly coming forward, Barnes on the edge of the box, it's opened up for Harvey Barnes, and that one will surely count from Barnes. The trademark celebration over in the far corner, Leicester passing the ball quickly and incisively, and then when it came to Barnes on the edge of the box, he was provided the space to pick out the bottom right corner.
It was all smiles last week, Matt, wasn't it, here at King Power Stadium? 2 victories by 4 goals in a row, or scoring 4 goals in a row, Leicester, and it was brilliant. The atmosphere, even before the game, you felt there was a shift, there was a different feel to it, didn't you?
Yes, yeah. To a degree, I think off the back of that performance and the new signings coming in, Maddison, etc., back in the fray, and like you say, the 4 goals at Villa. But I don't know. I still felt like Leicester, got a little way to get right back on top of their game, like they have been in seasons gone by recently. But that Villa game, there were some excellent parts of it, but there was some sort of stout defending, and Leicester got the run of the ball as well at times. There were balls bobbling around, and it was just Leicester's day, one way or another. You thought, you're going to need maybe even more than that against Tottenham. Well, you never know what you're going to get from them, and they surprised us with their ineptitude, really. But but you said, like, maybe there's no maybe about it. Probably that is the best performance of the season.
Yeah,
like by some distance, really. The opposition, how poor Leicester made them look, but then the quality of the goals, and could have been 1, 2, possibly even 3 more. I know that's asking for a lot, 4 will do, but yeah, they were all top-notch finishes, etc. And it was just, I think it sort of like relieved any pressure that maybe the supporters have felt a little bit, because there's been worries about flirting with relegation, etc. You come out with performances like that's not a team that's going to be threatened by relegation. I'm not too hasty in saying that, but I think the support's like, do you know what? That's brilliant. We can actually go and enjoy the rest of the season on the back of that performance.
Yeah, each of the goals, Ewan, for one reason or another, in their own rights, were brilliant, weren't they, from a Leicester point of view?
What's sort of a bit Demeldrew, Dan? You're sitting next to there. He's a bit doom and gloomy today, isn't he? About the Aston Villa performance. Deary me, Villa were flying. They'd won 5 of their previous 7 games. They'd only lost 1 of those 7 games since taking in charge. To come back twice like they did. But you're talking about the Spurs game. It was a magnificent performance. It was Leicester at their best. And as you say, all 4 goals, they had a bit of magic about them. When you being clinical, when you've got to be cool and calm in front of goal, not panicking. That's what the boys were in their build-up play. They were clinical in their finishing. They kept their heads, and they were 4 fantastic goals as they were up at Villa Park. And when you think, Dan, Leicester had won 1 point from their previous 5 Premier League games since the World Cup run, and I can understand that there was a bit of worry, a bit doom and gloomish, if you like, around the place. And all of a sudden, 2 very, very good wins. I watched Villa yesterday against Arsenal, and they were very, very unlucky. Aston Villa Park's not an easy place to go to, and Arsenal won it right to death with two sort of very fortunate goals. So it wasn't never easy going to go to Villa Park. Spurs were coming into the game last week on the back of beating last year's champions Manchester City. Man City don't lose too many games, so they were coming to the King Power full of confidence. So for Leicester, once again, went behind, but showed the mental strength and the character and the spirit that we've spoken about on so many occasions, that we know that team, that squad has in abundance, and they showed it again last week.
Kelechi Iheanacho has come in and he's scored goals and he's got assists in those 2 games against Villa and Tottenham. And we spoke to him, or LCFC TV rather, spoke to him this week at Seagrave.
Kelechi, 3 goals, 3 assists in 3 games. How are you feeling after that run of form?
Feeling good. It's great. We've had a good run, so I'm pretty happy with where we are at the minute. The whole squad we're doing really well. So so we'll keep going. Hopefully, we'll keep scoring more and keep assisting more and keep helping the team. Hopefully the team will get up there, and hopefully we'll still have a good run in the FA Cup, so hopefully we'll get there.
A few days after the Spurs game now. What are your reflections in general of that game? Because that was a big win for us, wasn't it?
Yeah, obviously we had a good feeling going into the Aston Villa game, and coming to the sports game as well, had a good feeling, and we'd really training well for that, and we had every part of the team now. We had a strong. Everyone is strong in their position now, so we're really strong now as a squad now going forward. So all we need to do is to just doing the right thing and being strong and winning games. So it's really coming now. So we need to just hang in there and keep winning.
For you personally, obviously playing with two wide players either side of you, the addition of Tete in the January transfer window, and then of course Harvey Barnes on the left. How beneficial is that for you as a striker, having that width?
Yeah, it's good to have fast wingers as a striker, so you can be free to obviously get in the box, come down to link the play as well. So yeah, it's good to have quality wingers and fast wingers in the team. So it will benefit us, the strikers, very well. So hopefully they keep doing what they're doing, and we keep doing what we're doing as well.
How happy were you for Papi Mendy and obviously him scoring his first Leicester goal, and especially in the manner in which he scored?
I can't tell you how happy I am for Papi. He's a great lad, and he's a fine footballer. So I call him Maestro. So he's a great bowler. So I'm very happy for him getting his first goal, and what a way to get your first goal. What a goal that was. So and he helped us come back into the game as well. So it's lovely. So Papi is a great guy. So hopefully he'll get more time to play and he'll show his qualities.
Obviously the build up to Manchester United now. What does this week look like for you? What does the preparation look like for you?
Yeah, we're preparing really well. Obviously, good feelings in the dressing room everywhere now. So hopefully we'll keep that momentum going. And I know it's going to be a big game for us. Man United is they're really doing well, and yeah, it will be a tough game for us. But hopefully we will stand to it, and we'll do what we're doing, and strong, and hopefully we'll go there and get something out of that game. So we'll do a bit.
And just finally, how big was the impact of the fans? You know, at Villa Park, especially that away game. You must have really heard them.
Yeah,
on the pitch.
Yeah, they were really loud. And they really gave everything, gave their support. So at Villa Park, they were really loud and supporting us. So yeah, at home as well against Spurs, they were so loud as well. So that's what we need from them. So hopefully they'll keep supporting us, and we'll keep winning.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll hear that same support in the away end at Old Trafford, of course, this afternoon. Ewan, how impressed have you been with Kelechi Iheanacho and his run of form, as we heard at the start of the interview there? 3 games, including the one in the FA Cup. It's 3 games, 3 goals, 3 assists. That's a pretty impressive return.
Yeah, four goals in his last 4 starts. Dan, is that right? With his goal at Gillingham, when he started the cup game down there. Listen, he's only 26 as well, Dan. You know, you forget he's still a very, very young man. And from the first sort of time he burst onto the scenes at Man City, you know, when he used to come off the bench, he used to score goals. You know that he's a finisher. You know, give him opportunities, he will score. First and foremost, I think he's got a fantastic attitude, because it can't have been an easy 12, 18 months for him. You know, he's found himself down the pecking list, behind Jamie Vardy, behind Patson Daka, which the club paid a lot of money for him. So he's probably 3rd choice centre forward. So it hasn't been easy. You know, he's been coming off the bench for 5, 10, 15 minutes here and there. So he's had to be patient. He's had to knuckle down, get his head down, work hard, wait for his opportunity. And you know, we speak about it so many times when, as a player, when you get an opportunity, it's then down to you to take it. he's taken it, and he has got everything. He's better than the other two that I mentioned with his back to goal. I think he's better than Vardy and Daka receiving the ball. He's got good awareness. He can pick a pass, as we've seen in the last couple of games with the assists that he's provided other people with. He's got good composure in front of goal, which we've seen in the last couple of weeks. His best season ever is 12 goals, which he got a couple of years ago for the football club, when he got 19 in 39 in all competitions, which I think he was the leading scorer in all competitions. Obviously, Jamie Vardy was the leading scorer in the league a couple of years ago with 16. But he's taken his chance. He has taken his chance, and he comes over as a great lad, good to be around, good to have in the dressing room. He's knuckled down. He hasn't thrown his toys out the pram, which would be easy to do. As a former professional footballer, it's not easy to do when you think you should be playing. When you're looking at people in the team in front of you who are not delivering, who are not producing the goods, you think, well, I should be starting. I should be given an opportunity. He's now got that opportunity, so go and make the most of it, which he is doing.
How good was that finish against Spurs, Matt?
Yeah, top class, wasn't it? The way that he's been aware to be in the space initially, expecting the ball to get turned over. Tottenham the defence totally the opposite, but then gets himself turned and fronting up Dyer and just toyed with him, didn't he? But not many players would have I was going to say arrogance, but he's not that sort of player. They have the confidence, belief in himself to actually take that time. Because normally, especially Iheanacho, because he hasn't had much of a run, you think they're eager to impress, and he might be a little bit anxious and rush his play. But he just steadied himself, didn't he? Because I think myself, like most people, watching, thinking, "Oh, what's he done? Oh, the chance has gone there." He stopped the ball too much, which is normally the sign for defenders to go and make the bounce, but or make the challenge. But he knew exactly what he was doing. He had it in his mind. You don't just sort of make things like that up. It would have come to him while he was doing his movements and advancing with the ball. And presence of mind, yes, and to have the ability to actually, it had to be inch perfect, didn't it? To go with that pace from a standing start to finish that against Forster. Had to whip it round Forster really, because he's big, tall, rangy goalkeeper, slow to get down. He's clocked that as well. He's processed everything. Intelligent player, skillful with it as well. But that was the player who's scored 15 in 15 confidence levels. But Iheanacho's been in and out and stop and start, whatever, and he still had that belief, and fair play to him for that.
Yep, and he scored at Old Trafford as well last season. Let's hope he can repeat that today. Let's hear now, though, from his manager, Brendan Rodgers, during his press conference. He was asked about Manchester United and how far they've come since the reverse fixture back in September.
Yeah, well, I think both teams, will be a different team to when we played them. And I look at Manchester United and I see the introduction, firstly, of new players coming in. If you think of players like Christian Eriksen and Martinez, really outstanding players. In Casemiro, they've got a real world-class player who's that comforting player for them, that he's got the experience, he's got the qualities, he's got everything, he's always calm. The quality of his game, how he plays, of course, is at a high level. So that has given the team, thankfully for us, he's not playing, he's suspended, but I think for the team's perspective, he's given them a real stabilising effect. And then was Eric and his coaching team, how they've been able to coach the players, give them good organisation, and and then they have a collective group of outstanding players. So they've done really, really well. They're up there competing. They're obviously played last night in a very good game. So, no, I think the record at home shows that they're a difficult team to play against.
What have your experiences been like at Old Trafford down the years as a manager, taking teams there?
Yeah, it's always a great arena to go and play. I've won there, I've lost there. So yeah, it's a great place to go and play. You know that to get a result there, you've got to be strong. You've got to defend well. and got to be aggressive. But it's a great big pitch to go and play football on. So once we do the dirty work, then we aim to showcase our qualities going forward and look to be aggressive in the game.
Quite a week ahead. 2 games back to back in the next 7 days for you that really have got great quality stamped all over them. The 2 teams you're playing and yourselves informed.
Yeah, but the same question was asked 2 weeks ago, saying that we've got 4 games that were big games, and it's, listen, for a manager, you're only looking at the next game. I think our performance away from home against Aston Villa was very, very good and a great result for us. Same with Tottenham, they come off the back of three wins in the league, so both those teams doing really well. We've had fantastic results performance-wise, been really good. Now we go on to our next challenge, which is a team again that's been informed. But we know travelling, in particular, that we can go now and play without any fear. I think the confidence is in the team. I think we're the second highest goal scorers away from home in the league, so that shows you that we can score goals and create goals. And we look to the next game to produce another good performance, hopefully.
That was Brendan Rodgers there, of course, looking ahead to this game with Manchester United. Ewan, on the bottom of the screen, obviously, you can see the Leicester City 11 today. That again, is exciting in itself, seeing that the 2 wingers, Tete and Barnes, with Maddison in behind Iheanacho. It's a very exciting attacking lineup, isn't it?
Yeah, and in this day and age, Dan, when you've got good strength in depth, most teams in the Premier League have that option now. Managers do like chopping and changing, but it's great to see a team that has won their previous game being unchanged, that the manager, and why not, keeping faith in the starting 11. I didn't expect any changes, in all honesty, unless obviously there were little niggly injuries that we didn't know about. And I think what I noticed straight away, Dan, now it's a good starting 11. But you look at the depth and the strength that's on that Leicester bench if it's needed. It's great. We spoke about it on Monday night. It's great to see Ricardo back. Tillemans back into fitness. Obviously, Vardy, Daka on there. Haven't had the best of seasons. But yeah, I mean, Brendan is not far off having a fully fit squad to choose from now. And as a head coach / manager, that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, absolutely, and it is certainly an exciting lineup to face. Manchester United, of course, at Old Trafford, they're in really, really good form, particularly their striker, Marcus Rashford. Let's hear about that now from Mark Ogden from ESPN, as well as their manager, Erik ten Hag.
The game between these two sides at King Power Stadium in September was Erik ten Hag's 5th Premier League game in charge of Manchester United, in a start that included defeats to Brighton and Brentford. This Jadon Sancho strike, however, meant they'd won 3 on the bounce, and since then, things at Old Trafford have only got better for the supporters and for ten Hag himself.
After those first 2 games, losing to Brighton at home and Brentford away, and losing quite heavily at Brentford, it looked like it was going to be a really bad season after a really bad season last year, but he steadied the ship. He's made some massive decisions. He dealt with Cristiano Ronaldo, dropped Harry Maguire. He's just decided to do his own thing, and that's contributed to United having so far a really good season. They're going to 3rd, going into the Leicester game, and they're still in all the competition. So I don't think any United fan at this stage last season, in the summer, would have said that get to end of February, they've got a chance of winning the trophy and qualifying with some ease for the Champions League.
They like to play big games, and they know also as a team and as individual you grow from such games. Today we went better players, we went better team, so that will help us in our process, and we are in the right direction. So we have to keep this process going. We will analyze again, we will criticize what went good, what went wrong, and we move on. Sunday, next game, next big game.
Portuguese midfielder Bruno Fernandes has 2 goals and 2 assists against Leicester in 6 Premier League games. But it's the man that plays in front of him that has been doing all the damage this season. Marcus Rashford already has 14 more goals than any of his teammates.
he's absolutely carried United. I think 13 goals in 15 games, prior to the Barcelona game, and he's absolutely flying. I think, the concern I'd have if I was a United fan is that he's scoring so many goals that if he stops scoring, if he gets injured, then they've got a problem because, Ronaldo's gone, Weghorst is limited, let's be honest, he's not a Man United player, and then Anthony Martial, in and out with fitness. So they have got issues. Jadon Sancho's form isn't what it should be. Anthony's still struggling for form. So I think that, Rashford has been brilliant for them, and he has got them to this situation where they're third in the league and they're going for, 3 trophies, potentially. So, yeah, fantastic season since the World Cup, but kind of caveat with that situation that if he does get injured or misses a couple of games, then where do the goals come from?
Thanks to Mark Ogden there from ESPN, and of course Erik ten Hag speaking after the Barcelona game, which was a fairly positive result for them. Could have been better, obviously, with the late goal for the Spanish side, but Marcus Rashford scored again, and he is the headline maker at the moment, isn't he? 14 in 16 now he's got.
Yeah, it's touch perplexing really how poor his form was not that long ago and how extremely good it is now. Maybe we'll never find out exactly what the reasons for that slump in form were, and his rejuvenation really is very welcome from Man United point of view and England as well. But interesting there that Mark says, I haven't seen every game obviously, but obviously the goal scoring of Rashford has been very beneficial. But wondering how good the actual performances have been. Is it because Rashford's so good of late that Man United are doing well, or Rashford scoring as a consequence of the good play that Man United brings? So, like he says there, if Rashford was to dry up or whatever, or suspension or whichever reason not playing, are Man United still going to be as strong as a lot of people are making them out to be? But I would suggest yes, probably. They've got some quality players.
So it's not a case of if Leicester stop Rashford today, they stop Man United?
I don't think so, but I mean, the stats probably say otherwise, because Rashford scores so many and not many others contribute with actually goals at the end of the products. But it's I don't know, they've got more about them than that, and obviously Rashford's the main man at the moment, and you fancy your chances, don't you, to go up against him? It's a challenge. it's a little bit similar to back in our day, different era and everything, different teams, etc. obviously, but going up there, we knew we were a half decent side, in decent form on a few occasions, going up there against Man U, enjoying the challenge and everything that will bring to get a result at Old Trafford. And this Man U team are not quite at the level of the Giggses and Scholeses, etc. But it's an achievable target, isn't it, for Leicester to go up there, especially the form they're in. And I think myself and many other people concerned with Leicester fancy Foxes to get something out of the game this afternoon.
Yeah, how impressed you and have you been with Manchester United, particularly in the last 3 or 4 months, really? Because it was a slow start, wasn't it, for Ten Hag and his side?
It was. You look at the start of the season, as you said in your piece, they lost their first 2 games at home to Brighton, which I think was a big surprise to everybody. And then they went down to Brentford and got embarrassed. I think it was 3-0 at half time. And there were questions being asked about the new head coach already. Was he the man to take Manchester United to the heights that they'd reached under Sir Alex Ferguson? He's had some, so lost their first 2 games since then. They've lost 3 in their next 21 Premier League games. So there's been a good reaction. His signings have been good. And I totally agree with Mark there. I'm not thoroughly convinced with Weghorst, in all honesty. He's still looking for this first goal. What did he get? 2 in 20 for Burnley when he spent time there. But home form has been superb for them. I mean, they've won 6 out of their last 7 in the Premier League at Old Trafford. They've won 26 points in their last 10 games at home. It's going to be a tough ask, but that win that Man U got at the King Power back in September, that was their first win in 6 attempts over Leicester in recent years. So over the last 4 or 5 seasons, Leicester have done well against this team. Hopefully they can go up to Manchester United and come back with a positive result today.
Yep, let's hope you're right, Ewan. I believe we've got Jerry Taggart standing by, ready for us. He's on co-commentary duty today up at Old Trafford. Jerry, Ewan's talked about the relatively good recent record Leicester have got, both at Old Trafford and against Manchester United. So are you hoping for something similar today, do you think?
Good afternoon, chaps.
Good afternoon.
I'm fairly confident. I think, having Casemiro out of the Man U team suspended, I think that's a massive bonus. We watched him in the return fixture at King Power Stadium early on the season, and he was a touch of class, let's put it that way. So I think he's going to be a big miss today for Manchester United. Obviously, you've got to keep one eye, or maybe 22 eyes on Marcus Rashford with the form that he's in. But I think looking at Manchester United's team overall, it doesn't scare me. That's not to say that obviously, as Ewan's just mentioned, their home form is very, very good, but the form that Leicester are in the attacking half of the pitch at the minute, I can't see them not scoring. And I know Manchester United have, I think it's either 2 or more goals in the last 8 games. So we could be in for a goal fest today. But I see Leicester definitely getting on the score sheet. I don't think Man United are going to stop Leicester. It's basically how many Leicester can limit Manchester United to scoring. So hopefully we're in for a bit of a ding-donger today.
Yeah, Leicester won there the season before, Jerry, and then last season as well. They could well have won. There was that disallowed goal for James Maddison fairly late on that would have made it 2-1. So they will go there with confidence, knowing that it isn't an invincible place to go and try and get a result.
Yeah, I think so. I think the form and the confidence of the last couple of games will play into this. Will be an advantage for Leicester. Obviously, as I've just said, Manchester United are in good form. I think that the players that have come in the window will be absolutely chomping at the bit today. The likes of Victor Christensen will be absolutely relishing this game today. Harry Suter going up against Weghorst, that's a challenge he should relish, really. As well as Wout Faes. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Leicester go into this, as I say, looking like a team who are full of confidence, looking like a team who have got it together in the attacking half of the football pitch with some slick football, some slick play. And I think at times today, Man United are going to struggle to cope with Leicester's attacking play.
It's amazing, Jerry, what a couple of results can do. I know that away end just to your right-hand side will be thinking the exact same that you are, that because results have gone really well recently, goals have been flowing, they can go there and they can get something.
Yeah, I think, you look at the last away game, against Aston Villa, going behind twice, coming back, winning that game. That was a massive confidence boost. That's massive for self-belief in the squad. To say that you can come behind. I think that was the first time in the season, was it, after going behind, they'd come back and won.
To win, yeah. So massive confidence boost for the lads there. And then obviously Tottenham coming into King Power last week and absolutely blowing them away. I mean, they've got to be full of it today. They have to be full of it today. And going out onto the pitch and thinking, lads, we can take these. I firmly believe we can get a positive result today. I really do. We all hope that you're correct, Jerry. Let's get a reminder then of the team news from a Leicester City point of view. We're just over 20 minutes now to go until kick-off up at Old Trafford. And Leicester are unchanged. Danny Ward in goal. Christensen at left back, Wout Faes and Harry Suter, the two central defenders with Castagna at right back. It's Dewsbury Hall and Mendy holding, with Barnes, Maddison and Tete in behind Kelechi Iheanacho. And from a Manchester United point of view, they have De Gea in goal, the back four of Shaw, Martinez, Lindelof and Dalot, with Fred and Sabitzer holding. It's a similar formation, we think. Rashford, Fernandes and Garnacho, whether that's in that order or Rashford right, Garnacho left, we don't really know, with Weghorst up front, of course. So it could be a cracking game up at Old Trafford. It certainly promises to be. If you need to get in the mood in any more ways, then watch this 3-minute package of Leicester City's famous goals against Manchester United.
Marshall then taking it on. Still Marshall, could be through here. It's there. Parker's corner. Push. Steve Bush. Here's Zagarakis. Can he get his shot in? Yes, he can! And it's a screamer!
wrestling going on, and Morgan nipped in.
What a goal! Well, you won't see a better goal than that this season to Maury Gray.
Brighton. This ball has to come in. That's a better ball. Here's Maguire. What a chance! Leicester City dig out an equaliser. The ball just stands up, looking for the run of Vardy. Here's Vardy. What a goal! And Leicester City take the lead.
Get the shoot in here, he can, and Harvey Barnes levels matters for Leicester City. That's a decent ball, and Vardy leaves it for Thomas, and what a stunning goal that is from Luke Thomas, the academy product. Jose Perez, there was an earlier foul against Castagna, but players waved on. Vardy, right back in, and Leicester back in front, just seconds after they were pegged back. And it is Jamie Vardy, emphatically right-footed, whistling the ball into the top corner. It is absolutely stunning from Leicester's main man. And once more they lead again at King Power Stadium.
I don't even know what to say, John. I mean, what's a finish from Vardy? Perez picks it up, there's a little ball, out to Vardy, he just smashes it on the half volley. Straight into the corner of the net. De Gea, no chance whatsoever. Unbelievable strike.
Yeah, well, that's exciting, Ewan, isn't it? Seeing all those goals flying in against Manchester United. Hopefully we see a repeat, of course, today. What's the key, quickly, before we go, before we do predictions? What's the key, do you think? First 15 minutes?
Quite in the crowd next. They've had a good week, Manchester United, with the takeover talk and one thing or other. Keep Marcus Rashford, who's been outstanding all season. Keep him quiet. Go work that back four. Because they don't convince me. I'm not convinced with De Gea in the goal. I think he's got an error. He's got a mistake in his game. Go and test him. But yeah, go and test that back four, because 3 changes to the team that played at Barcelona for one reason or another. Martinez coming back from injury. Go and see what they're about.
Well, finally then, what's your prediction? Jerry sounded confident, Ewan, of Leicester picking something up. Are you equally as confident?
I am. 4 wins in the last 6 away games. Unlucky up at Anfield. On the back of 2 great wins, scoring 8 goals. I'm not saying that the lads will go and win, but I can see them coming back with a positive result, yes.
And finally, Matt, how about you? We've got half an eye on some of the warm-ups, by the way. Marcus Rashford's scored pretty much every shot that he's had, hasn't he? So,
balls flying in left, right and centre.
But yeah, how do you see it going?
Yeah, I think the key element for me is like just maintaining and keeping that belief from Leicester. And listen, they'd probably do well to put that montage on in the dressing room there, because that would put the confidence up as well. But they've done well of late. They know they can go there and perform and get something against Man United. There's going to be rocky periods in the game, but listen, that's part and parcel of going to Old Trafford. But there will be moments when they can go and make something of situations. So just keep that belief throughout the game, and I think without doubt, I'm similar to the lads. I think they get something out of the game. I predicted last week 2-2. Leicester smashed Tottenham 4-1. I'm going to go 2-2 again. Hoping it ends up 4-1.
Yeah, that'll be some results, certainly, wouldn't it? Stay with us here on Matchday Live. We're 15 minutes now away from kick-off up at Old Trafford. Our commentary team today is James Fielden alongside Jerry Taggart to take us through what can hopefully be another fantastic result, just as we saw a week ago.
Because memories never fade, no matter how long. We'll still remember the moments of excitement and the impressions of Thailand. Amazing Thailand, now even more amazing.
Lamiat is the belief that perfection lies within the details, where the finest ingredients deserve the finest craftsmanship. In every pursuit of perfection, there is passion and perseverance, where attention to detail inspires a masterpiece that's balanced and in harmony. This is the Lamiat philosophy, brewed into every drop of Chang beer. This is the taste of Thai perfection. Chang beer. We brew friendship.
Hello, good afternoon everyone and welcome along to Old Trafford here in Manchester. We're at the Theatre of Dreams today for live coverage from the Premier League as high-flying Manchester United host Leicester City, who are certainly scoring plenty of goals right now. A goal glut over the last 2 weeks. This is a real test though for the Foxes today as they head into a city that's become the northern hub of football, with Manchester United becoming a real force under Erik ten Hag this season, and they've lost just 2 of their last 16 league games. They went into the World Cup 11 points off the top of the Premier League and began the weekend in 3rd place, just 5 points behind Manchester City and leaders Arsenal, who won 4-2 rather at Aston Villa 24 hours ago. Leicester can make it 4 successive wins after thrashing Tottenham last week. Going behind as they have done in each of their last 2 is ill-advisable here, but after a January refresh it seems as though things are moving in the right direction. The Foxes start the day 4 points above the relegation zone after some big wins at the bottom yesterday, and need to keep the wins coming themselves to make sure it's not a nervy end to the season. Pretty quiet here at the moment. 74,000 odd fans taking their seats ahead of this 2 o'clock kick-off. In terms of the team news today, let's start with Leicester, who are unchanged from the side that began against Spurs last week. Ward the goalkeeper, Castagna, Suter, Fass and Christensen across the back. In midfield it's Tete, Mendy, Maddison, Dewsbury Hall and Barnes on the left-hand side. Iheanacho starting up front. For Manchester United, 3 changes from their last league game against Leeds. They were at Barcelona away in the Europa League on Thursday. But in terms of the last league game, 3 changes. Lisandro Martinez, Victor Lindelof and Alejandro Garnacho come in. Harry Maguire misses out altogether. Tyrell Malacia is only on the bench, as is Jadon Sancho. So De Gea in goal for Manchester United. Diogo Dalot, Lindelof, Martinez and Shaw across the back. In midfield, Garnacho on the right-hand side. Fred, Bruno Fernandes, Sabitzer and Rashford off the left. Wout Weghorst starts through the middle. Starting alongside me in the commentary box this afternoon, it's former Foxes favourite, still Foxes favourite, Jerry Taggart. Jerry, great to see you. It's a grey, cloudy day, isn't it? But the weather, the temperature's not too bad overall.
Yeah, I think it's good football, and well, as you say, it's dry. There's not a lot of wind about. As you say, it's quite mild as well. So yeah, perfect conditions here. They're just watering the pitch as we look down upon it. As you say, it's a bit quiet. Let's hope the atmosphere picks up somewhat by the time the game gets going.
Yeah, just over 3,000 Leicester fans away to our right-hand side. I was sitting here as the guys were building up in the studio, as commentators often do, think about what might happen, the kind of things you might say, that kind of thing. And I was thinking, if Leicester score, am I going to say something? Oh, Leicester lead at Old Trafford, because of what it's become here in recent years. And I was about to say it's not the fortress it once was, and I had a look at their home form in particular. They've only lost 1 of their last 20 here.
Yeah.
For a club of this size, they're kind of quietly going about their business very well, aren't they?
Yeah, I think it's been a difficult start for Ten Hag, but he's come into a club that has been in a little bit of turmoil. You have to say that. So it's not been an easy job for him, and he's changing players, and like established players. Get 1 or 2 out as well, as we all know about. and steadily, as you say, just picking up results here and there. But they're coming up against a team who are, you know, absolutely covered in confidence, if you ask me. I think forget about the league table today. That means absolutely nothing. We all know Leicester are a better team and a better squad than what their league position tells us. And obviously you've got to go out and you've got to perform, you know, for that the change. But in the last couple of games, you've seen a Leicester team that, you know, probably where we expect it to be in terms of performances, in terms of goal returns. So that's why I think, you know, especially a game like today, we've got to put, you know, the league table to one side and go solely on the form of both teams. That's why it's an intriguing game today.
But for all of Manchester United's good play, as a team, you look at the lineup, it's not full of star players. Look, Rashford's on an amazing run.
Yeah.
You know, they've loaned a striker in from Burnley. They've got a relatively unknown winger on the right-hand side. And you look across the rest of the team, it's not individual players to be feared in one-on-one battles, is it?
Yeah, they've got quality, let's call it, in all the right places. You know, Garnacho obviously is a talent, as you say. Rashford, Bruno Fernandes. So you've got, you know, basically 3 or 4 players in the Manchester United team that are in top form, you'd have to say, and especially in Rashford. So he is obviously a player that Leicester City's defence will have to keep an eye on for sure. But other than that, Leicester have to concentrate on their attacking play, because at times, you know, in the last couple of games we've seen they've been unplayable. You know, it's just been too slick, especially against Tottenham. You know, Tottenham at times were all over the show. I'm sure Manchester United will be better organised at the back, but it's that slickness of play and the confidence in which they're doing it, which I think will cause Man United problems.
In terms of the team, no real issues, are they? Unchanged? No, is there any need to change?
Yeah.
You know, you've got Tielemans back on the bench
Tielemans,
today.
yeah, is the only one for me, really. You know, I think he had an injury last week. Papi Mendy come in. Papi Mendy did a decent job last week. Made a couple of mistakes, so one early on in the game and one when they were semi-cruising against Tottenham. You know, facing his own goal and playing poor passes, giving, as I said, away cheap possession. And unfortunately for us, you know, Tottenham couldn't take advantage of those poor passes from Papi Mendy, and that's why I thought maybe that stability that Tielemans gives you in midfield, even when his back is to goal, even when he's under pressure, he's the only player on the pitch that has that ability to get himself out of a bit of an issue. But, you know, as you say, Brendan sees it fit to keep Papi in the team, so, you know, who am I to second guess that?
Well, when the Stone Roses gets played here, you know that kick-off is not far away. The Leicester subs making their way down the long touch line here into the technical area and onto the substitutes bench. The tunnel, of course, in the corner here at Old Trafford. The time is 6 minutes to 2 o'clock here in Manchester. Kick-off almost upon us after a relatively long week. No midweek game for Leicester, and none to come this week either. The FA Cup rolling back into town in their final game of February, and a chance to rest and recover after a busy couple of months on the field. The great and the good of the entertainment world taking their seats alongside us here in the director's box, and this place absolutely packed, as it always is. One of the highlights of any Premier League season. All that waits now, all we're waiting for now, is the emergence of the two teams. Just seeing Harry Maguire take his seat next to the England assistant boss, actually Steve Holland, who's in the director's box, and just having a chat why he's not involved today. Leicester fan Serge Pizonov Kasabian sat alongside us as well. We are just waiting for the two sides to come out here.
This is the Theatre of Dreams. Will you please welcome Leicester City and Manchester United?
Leicester City back at a stadium where they've taken 4 points in the last 2 visits, and after a goal-filled couple of matches, a win by any margin would do here against the Manchester United side that have won 5 of their last 7 games, during which time they've been unbeaten. The referee for this one today is Stuart Atwell. He marches the players out here, both sides in their traditional home colours. Jerry Taggart, we've talked about the teams, we've talked about how they're going to line up. The question is, what is your big match prediction for this one?
Thanks for that, James. I'll go for a 2-2. There you go, and hope it's a 4-1 like Match Elliott said earlier on. I went for a 2-2 prediction last week as well against Tottenham, and they ended up being 4-1. So yeah, I'll stick with that.
They have only lost once here this season, Manchester United. It was back on the opening day of the season, as they were beaten here by Brighton. Can Leicester cause an upset here today? Their previous defeat before that was in January last year, when they were beaten here at home by Wolves. Can another of the Midland sides get a result here in this one? The teams lined up in front of us here ahead of kick-off as the Premier League anthem blares out at Old Trafford. Manchester United against Leicester City is coming up in just a few moments' time. A recap of the Leicester team today: Ward the goalkeeper, Castagna, Suter, Fass and Christensen the back four, Mendy and Dewsbury Hall sitting in front of them, Tete, Maddison, Barnes across midfield, all behind Kelechi Iheanacho, who starts up front. In terms of the bench today, sub-goalkeeper Daniel Everson, Yuri Tielemans, Jamie Vardy, Daniel Amati, Patton Daka, Ricardo Pereira, Wilfred Ndidi, Dennis Pratt and Buba Soumare. How are your knees going to last for this one, Jerry? It's a little bit cosy here.
I know, a bit too cosy.
I'm starting to be rude.
Well, I mean for my knees, not because of just no room,
the body heat, I think it's fair to say.
I've had the muscle yet, I haven't had the iron seat. Because if I was sitting where you were, I'd be in big trouble at half time trying to get it back into that media lines for a cup of tea.
I think you'd be staying here until the next game. Anyway, the players just going through their final preparations down in front of us here. The Premier League hoardings being taken away. The Leicester fans packed into the away section, away to our right-hand side, taking their full allocation of tickets that was available to them for this one. And the players now gathering around the centre circle. There's James Maddison and Bruno Fernandes pose for the pre-match photos in the centre circle.
Things have changed, times have changed. Used to be one mascot and now you've got a full team. You've got 11 aside of mascots. So.
Maximising revenue, I think Absolutely. It's called. I think it used to be free back in the day.
Right.
Anyway, Leicester are just gathering around the edge of the centre circle here, and there isn't actually going to be anything before kick-off. I think everyone expected there to be some kind of moment of reflection because of the awful events in eastern Turkey and Syria, but the game is going to start as normal here. Manchester United against Leicester City, the first of 2 Premier League games this Sunday. Can Leicester cause an upset? Can they get 4 wins in a row in all comps? We are about to find out.